Looks like we're recording. Okay, another different camera, Sony Bloggy. Yeah, these are really pricey. Anyway, it's busted, and but the little front screen I got working, so I can see myself, which is not very good. But at least I can see I'm in the frame, mostly, partly. Can't really figure out how to hold this. Another one of these cameras where, it's just they're so impractical. And I had to add the little crap lens, so the focal length is reasonable for vlogging. I mean, I don't know why you call something a bloggy when it's still. Why would you? Hi, this is my blog. Why? This is just so stupid. Anyway, they do sell them with little attachable lenses, which is probably the sensible thing to do. Of better quality than the $1.23 I spent for this one. But anyway, it's totally irrelevant. I'm already way down the path, and I haven't got to the subject yet. Professor Anton again. All right, so he's really outrageous. So anyway, he complains about the quality of the dialogue, and then he does something like take a quote out of a Dawkins book and mock it and laugh at it. Well, I can certainly see that, can't you? Kind of bullshit like, I've got you, Mr. Dawkins, you're being a snark or something. And the issue was just kind of funny, but it's a great starting point for this video. So his mock was that Dawkins kind of ridiculed the ancients for not doing the obvious. When they put the sun at the center of the solar system, the Earth. Yeah, sorry, it's so native for us. They were just being so human-y, just to assume when you start saying, well, where are we? What are we? We obviously didn't think we were the shoe on the horse. We kind of figured we were the horse, that we were the thing that was important here, that we were the deal, and so everything would revolve around us. But and Anton is mocking this as if, oh well, why would people would have to have satellites or something to be and you don't need satellites to appreciate the God perspective. You can imagine it quite easily. Look at all those Peruvian Indians who made gigantic sculptures out of the terrain because they knew, like we are above the ants, that the God was above them, looking down, and would see their work. And so all it takes is a little bit of imagination. And that's sort of what Dawkins is mocking, is that even though the humans, even if they had imagination, weren't going to apply it in a fair manner. They were going to apply it in a human-centric, self-important manner. And that's a good part of the whole critique of religion, is it's not only that it was bad science, it was self-glorifying science, it was humanistic, it was human-perverted science. Look how the religious people have run from evolution. Minky, I ain't related to no Minky. Right? Even you run from our animal history. You'll run back to a human ancestor, but you won't run back, and glorify. But you won't run back to a Minky. You want to just go back to, I don't know, leather work. You want to go make your own shoes or something. Whatever the hell it is. You want to be a Quaker or a shifter or a shaker or a baker. But yeah, you don't want to go back to being a little fur ball shitting in a tree. Yeah, you don't want to be doing that, do you? Yeah, because you're a cheater too. You're a human morph. Whatever. Yeah, whatever. You can't get human out of your perspective. So anyway, first, so yeah, you're I got you'd on your I got youing, okay? You can't I got you with mockery and then complain about mockery. That's really bogus. I mean, you can do it. You'll get away with it. Your audience will say, "Oh, what an eloquent retort that was," you know, or some sort of bullshit. You know, they'll rub your hiney, but it's bullshit, and you probably know that. So anyway, now the rest of this video is just more rationalizations for some notion that the default logic of the universe is, oh, yeah, well, we're super cool. Yeah, that's all. You know, let's just ignore the mechanical process and let's just assume that the premise of it is to create little walkie-talkies, you know, that go around inventing spirituality notions, you know, magic power feelings, and then that's the reality. It's very awkward to switch hands holding this camera this way, but whatever. Yeah, that doesn't sell. We're, you know, and then he complains again about math and and he's just not getting it. Math is in the world. Logic is in the world. I've made this video. You know, nobody's gonna make an argument about it, but whatever. These are things we discover. The truth is something we discover. It isn't something we make up. And math is a function of matter. This is what it does. You know, it ones, it twos, it threes. These are just functional aspects of things that can separate themselves from each other. This is what they end up being, is ones and twos and threes and fours and fives and all that crap. And then every other bit of math is relationship. It is the relationship between circumference and diameter, relationship between angles and the length of sides, relationships. I mean, it's all algebra and trigonometry and geometry, and it's, you know, those words themselves, especially geometry, it's just so overtly a material mathematics, a math of structure, of constants. These are constants, Professor. You wish to claim they aren't? Well, they are. Okay, all the way up to E equals mc squared. These are constants. The relationship between circumference and diameter, the relationship between angles and length of side. These are constants. You know, the trigonometry, the sines and the cosines and the tangents. All these are constant relationships. They don't go away. They don't vary over billions of years. So bullshit to be talking about some sort of irregular universe that we exist in, and that somehow somebody hasn't dealt with that irregularity, you know, with the proper intellectual medication. No, we have. And especially in the last 200 years, the human race has made broad strides in terms of acquiring understanding of the system dynamics of this world, of what we are, how we got here, and what our context is in this universe. And the context is not a mechanical process like a clock that's producing time, where we would be the time. That the universe functions to produce this complexity that would, you know, put on its I'm human hat and go, time for a parade, because we're human. The universe has human. The universe has human. The universe has human. No, that's not the function of the universe. It's not to create silly humans in silly parades talking about how spiritual they are. It's just bogus, completely bogus. So he brought up Joseph Campbell, who was another one of these guys who was just basically saying pretty overtly, don't fuck with the truth, okay? Because it goes nowhere. It'll just make you sad. So cling to the myth. It'll keep you in the wheel. Might even keep you reproducing and making more wheel runners. And yeah, just don't think too much. Yeah, simplify it. Here, and this is a guy who doesn't want reductionism, and yet he will glorify silly myths. Just stupid, preposterous stories. But don't give him a big fat book of stories and call it a Bible and say that's the truth. No. Keep it just a bunch of little stories to live by. You know, keep it a bunch of little metaphors of hokey pokey and wanky danky, and pretend that they are reality. That the little unicorn that could. Yeah, let's write that story. The little unicorn that could. Yay! And we'll have a little emotional feeling and say, wow, we're philosophers. Because, yeah, we read The Little Unicorn That Could. And it's all about be a stoic little unicorn. That's right. Be a good little unicorn. But that's all here. He wants the mistakes of religion, which is bad metaphors, cartoon descriptions of reality. And God so beloved that he poofed the only poofer. And poof-diddy-poof-diddy-poof-diddy-poof. I mean, it's Teletubby nonsense. All of it. It's all bad conjecture. And those are the excuses we can make for the past. They made mistakes in defining reality. Grotesque mistakes. And they had cause to make mistakes. And that cause is called ignorance. They were ignorant. So mistakes are justifiable. Mistakes as big as slavery is a little hard to figure out. Mistakes as big as, let's throw your daughter in the volcano, and the god will like to rape her, and if she doesn't burn up too much, and he'll give us good crops, because we gave him a rape victim. I mean, yeah, I don't know exactly how they came up with crap that stupid, but it's just crap. And they came up with it because they didn't understand that bit of dirt down there is full of life. That there's billions and billions of little machines eking out their existence. You know, and although they can't draw any, you know, shapes of animals and other crap in the dirt for us to look at, from their perspective, yes, we are gods. And yet, we are just mechanical machines too. We just are fancier. We're the difference between, you know, a Boeing 747 and the Rough Rider. Well, that's not a good one. The stagecoach. The Bouncity Bounce stagecoach. Whatever the first stagecoach was. I don't know what the first one's name was. Buddy the stagecoach. Yeah, so we're the fancier, more electrified version of the same kind of mechanism, and it's not a spiritual mechanism, it's just a consuming and reproducing mechanism. That's where we came from. Will you please acknowledge that truth and quit pretending there's something else happening on planet Earth? Things on Earth evolve to consume and reproduce. They don't evolve to think. Thinking is a tool. Thinking makes them more capable of succeeding. It doesn't mean they are doing something any more purposeful. Jesus. So what else? So anyway, he was putting this in the context of finding some of the, critiquing some of the arguments made by the magic sandwich crowd. And they just get way too convoluted because they won't acknowledge you know, these atheists, they don't even acknowledge the truth of it. They are pantheists, essentially. They'll say, go ahead, be spiritual, go ahead, do this, just don't do it in any kind of specific way. So it's okay to believe in mumbo jumbo, just don't say exactly what you claim the mumbo jumbo is, because then we're going to have to call you on it. So if you keep it ambiguous, keep it mushy, like, you know, I don't know, how can you even make it scientific to believe in this mumbo jumbo, but yeah, you really can't. I mean, you look at the facts, you can see what this is. This is competing with that, it's competing with that, it's competing with that, it's competing with that, it's competing with that, and we're competing with it. It's DNA molecule. Winner survives. Yeah, that's it. Winner survives. They don't get laid, they don't necessarily have a great life, they don't necessarily do anything, they just survive. That's all. That's all the game is about. It's not about being happy, being spiritual, being actualized, being any of that crap. It's about chomp, 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 chomp. Oops, my leg fell off. Whoops, 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 whoops. I have to get around that. I have to work around that. I have to fight through that. I'll have to eat. I'll have to use my mother to beat the the intruder to death. Yeah, whatever it takes to just get from here to the finish line. And it doesn't matter how beat up you are, how near death you are. Somehow we're supposed to be stoic and say, job well done. Even though there is no job, there is no well done, there's just a bunch of insane, climb the old stupid mountain because it's there nonsense. That's a philosophy. Do it because it's there. Yeah, not because you can logically make a rational argument that is productive. No, just do it because you have two legs, walk on them. Because you have a mouth, eat. Don't judge anything. Just do like a good bug does. Be a good bug, and they call that spirituality. Be the best bug you can be, and that's being spiritual. Is, yeah, just do whatever the DNA molecule says. Don't ask any questions. So you might as well just be throwing virgins into the volcano, because you'll never do anything efficient or productive or sensible on this stupid planet, as long as you believe the DNA molecule has a plan. Because it doesn't. Yeah, that's enough. So, batteries lasted. Internal battery or something. Anyway, I think this will be quite adequate for a broken camera. I think this will be a good one. I think it'll work. This will be a keeper. And so forth. Yeah, it's all beat up, but anyway, it doesn't matter. Not your problem. Yeah, well, whatever. Yeah, this is kind of handy to be able to see yourself in the screen. Yeah, I think it's recording. Yeah, I hope I didn't lose this morning's video. I don't know. All of a sudden I noticed I was talking and the little red dot wasn't there anymore. That's not good news when you're recording a video. Anyway, so what to add to Professor Anton and the idea that we can't understand, we can't know. This is just the nature of people. They're going to keep clinging. Oh, shit. Yeah, I got my hand over the microphone. Not a good idea. See, it's just, I have to figure out how to hold this camera. Gotta put a stick on it or something. Anyway. Yeah, anyway. Does this tilty thing. I don't know if I can do it in the middle of a video, though. Shall I dare try? Okay, there, I dared try. Still, now it didn't work. Okay. I thought I would switch the little dot. Because it doesn't do it technically anyway. I mean, it just ends up doing the same format. Just puts a little sliver in the middle of the video. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Side issue. So anyway, the why I'm called Ichabod, or whatever the guy's name is, the kid. He did some video and he brought up quantum mechanics again, because Professor Anton said something about the wave, and Piro's always talking about the wave, and all this wave function. The wave function is not a wave function. It's a description of a probability curve. Now, probability can look like a wave. I've said this before, because things are low probability at one end, high probability for the middle thing, and low probability at the other end again. They kind of do that bell curvy thing, or they even do the sine wave thing, you know, and that's how probability works. But as I've also pointed out, there is no such thing as probability. There's just ignorance of variables. So there is no wave function. It's just a description of the probability function. You know? And probability, when it's certain as the quanta, I mean, it is limited, you know, in terms of it doesn't have some sort of open freedom to do whatever the hell it wants. No, it's going to turn out a certain way. It's going to end up a certain place within these rules. And, you know, there's just no point in looking there and saying there. Now we have justification for all this bibble-babble talk because life is mysterious again. No, it's not mysterious. And none of that crap has anything to do with us. And yet, you know, the why I'm Yucaba guy was almost implying, like, I should call him by his real name. What the hell was it? Steve? I don't know. You know, what is this? You know, I was just going to make a point and I forgot it. So you got the quantum thing, probability thing, uncertainty thing. Ah, shit. But he said some other thing that was just stupid. Sorry, it was stupid. You know, these people just keep wanting to make up a fancier story for what a human being is. Oh yeah, talk about us like we were waves. And you know, it's just like, why do that? Because on our level of the physics sphere, there is no fucking waves. There's no, you're not running at whatever. I mean, it might all be a clock speed. Don't get me wrong. I propose that kind of theory. There might be hidden variables, hidden nuance to our existence that you aren't seeing. Just like in the two-slit experiment, which I think is just what's called lensing. Yeah, I think it's just lensing. And I think the reason why you can see the wave pattern and you don't see it when the other slit's open, and when you don't see it with a big hole anyway, is because it floods. So the whole point of the slitting is narrowing how much energy goes through. But and it's more about what kind of energy. It's the fringe photons that end up going through the slits, not the straight ahead photon. But anyway, a whole different subject. I just want to get to the point that we're not a wave. We're running on this big part of the universe, and it ain't quantum. It ain't doing any of that stuff. It's, let's see how to metaphor it is.